Hello, everyone. Or not. No. Thank you for tuning in to the Other People's Show, a late night talk show that airs every Friday night on 92.5 WLSD, 1220 AM, WLSDradio.com. And thank you very much. It's getting a little bit rainy tonight, but I do feel that spring and the warmness is in the air. Although tonight, if you tune in, I am wearing almost a puffy vest in the vein of Marty McFly. But it is Friday, March 22nd, 2024. And I usually don't say anything like this, but it is my birthday today. So thank you, everyone out there. Got a lot of messages here. Susan, Kelsey. It looks like this name, I'm going to try to lean in here, and it says Belliano. They wanted a shout out. There it is. But you can follow along on all the social media pages. That's the Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, and Instagram, The Other People's Show. There's a few different things on each different respective social media. Some overlap in the same, some aren't. But a lot of things have been going on lately. There was something that I read. It wasn't. I don't want to say it was the news, but I think it was the news. Is that an author of a famous? I don't know if how famous, but an author of a book about how to get away with killing your husband was charged with killing her husband. All that crazy Nickelodeon stuff going on. It's a documentary out there. Now, a lot of the shows that they talk about, I didn't watch and still don't watch a lot of television. But I know some of those shows, and I've watched a few of them. Corey Feldman has been interviewed about it. Craziness. And here we are. Almost about to be April. It is craziness. Now, like last week, actually it wasn't last week, it was the week before. I don't know if anyone knew, but last week was a replay. But it didn't sound like a replay, did it? You all thought I was live doing Lethal Weapon. Because Lethal Weapon, honestly, is a movie that you could probably revisit every 2 to 3 years and review it because it holds up so well. And I knew that it held up well, but I didn't know how well until this past summer when I rewatched it and I was like, this is an amazing movie from top to bottom. It's like Die Hard. It's one of the best regarded action movies, and it holds up amongst any of them. But yes, it has been a fun, an interesting week. I saw something the other day, and I don't, want anyone to feel sad or anything like that. But, I saw a picture, and it was from I would say, back in the late 80s, early 90s was where the picture was from. And it looked like it was at Planet Hollywood. And if you remember that place, that was a place where you could go. And it was kind of like, what's the place where you can go and, Hard Rock Cafe? But this was like a place where they had a lot of things from movies there. Like they might have, the prop that was used in Ghostbusters. or it could be they would have Indiana Jones's whip, and it would just just random things. You never knew what they were going to have in there. But it was a picture that I saw a few days ago. It was Bruce Willis's 69th birthday, and it was a picture that I saw that had Bruce Willis on stage, and then it had Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly with a vest and all, playing guitar like he does in the movie. And it made me sad. Because all of the good ones are I hate to say it, but falling by the wayside. Because you've got Bruce with the disease that has, the condition. Same thing with Michael J. Fox. In both, if you look at patients and people with those kind of diseases and conditions and things of this nature, it's really heartbreaking and it's really sad, and my voice just cracked. But I was sad about it. I was sad about that picture. And, then just to make myself more sad, I had seen on X that Michael J. Fox presented some kind of award the other day. And he was kind of wheeled out in a wheelchair. Wow, I'm making you all really want to tune into the show tonight. Then he got up there, and then there was a standing ovation. And that brought a little bit of a tear to my eye. And, I won't say that I'm not an emotional person, not an emotional being, but certain things like that do tug at my heartstrings. And also makes me think about, we're all getting older all the time. And, when is the time to live and act? Act as far as like, not act as in a performance, but act to make things happen. Make things happen in your life. And how to go about those steps and able to do that. And that's kind of what I've been thinking of over the last little bit. Having the birthday, thinking about that. Thinking probably, my life is almost half. I don't know how long the life expectancy is, but I would say I'm I don't want to say that I don't want to get old, but it really depends on the condition that I'm in. I mean, if I'm in pretty good Harrison Ford shape in my 80s, then bring on the 80s. Or if I'm directing movies a la Clint Eastwood at 93, even though he's frail, he is 93 and seems to be in good health. Sure. But it's like all of the heroes, quote heroes. I don't look at any of these people as real heroes, but heroes within the field, of acting and musicians. The people we grew up watching are slowly fading out. And it's kind of, it puts everything into perspective, I guess. And it makes you analyze many things about yourself, many things about life, maybe your family. Also, how you measure success. Because, for a while you could think, even all the time, success would be monetary, possessions, peace of mind. But has anyone ever had really, quote, enough of those? I'm sure you could probably have enough finances and money put back. You could try. And that might be achievable. Peace of mind, I don't know if that's ever achievable. And if you've able to master that, then congrats to you. Because I've not been able to do that. And then I wish that I could. But I'm further along into being able to do that for longer periods of time. Not saying peace of mind because things still aggravate and bother me, every day. But I don't let them as much defeat me and get me down as I did in the past. And hopefully I'm learning to be better about that. So, what happened this past week with you all? you can message me in soon. And I keep saying this, we are going to take phone calls because I do want this to be a more interactive show with the calls as well. But, you know, it's not been bad. You know, there are a couple of short films that are coming up midlife, which I don't know if you've seen the little promo trailer that's out right now. Just type in midlife on the other people's show, Facebook or YouTube. That's up, and it's going to be. You know, I wanted to get back into some physical comedy. I don't feel like the show has been as comedic as I would like it to be in tone, even if it's in sarcasm tone, or dry humor. But I don't know. I've been listening to some older shows from the mid 2000s and late 2000s, and it's better when there's someone to bounce things off of, and more so when there was like two other people, because you kind of had this, rapport going back and forth, where I kind of guided the show, and then the other people kind of put in little contributions here and there, and it ran really smooth and really well. And that's a hard thing to find, is the chemistry within the radio show, because the radio show is a passion as well. As many of these as I do, it's not my biggest passion. It's the passion that I'm able to continuously do weekly, but it's not the passion that I wish I could do. If I could do a show, every day, every night, one or the other, not all day, every day, but at night, a weekly, a nightly show with a co-host or two, I wouldn't mind to do that, because I'm able to do that, and I want to put that product out there, and I'm willing to put forth the work, because there's so much work that goes in behind things that, with whatever you all do, I'm sure there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes that no one else knows but yourself. And that's when you're down and you don't think you can make it, or don't think you can get to the next point, when you have to look back and think, look at what I've done to get where I am. I don't know how it turned into a TED Talk, but it kind of did. And once again, I never, ever bring enough beverage in here. I just had a tall yellow Gatorade, and I needed a Gatorade and a water, but I neglected to bring the agua in here. I neglected to bring the agua, and I needed to bring that. So I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start doing that a little bit better. So, I won't keep you all very long tonight. We'll close about 11, but I do want to say that some big things are coming. I would say probably May will be some new changes, some good changes to the show. May will be a year that we've been on air on 92.5 WLSD as the Other People's Show. Before that, if you know, there were many incarnations of the show over the years. Started off as the Midnight Mutants radio show. We did that over at MMT. We did it up in DC at WEBR, and then we went back to MMT, and then continued doing a variation of that show out of the sunroom for a while. And then we kind of switched it over to the Other People's Show, or the Other People podcast show. If you search online, you can probably find a couple of episodes of that as well. That was also done out of the sunroom. And I'd say we probably did about 30 episodes of that. Then during the COVID era, which was interesting, the show had kind of been dormant for a little while. And Jacob Johnston got me back into doing the Zoom version of the show. And he kind of came up with the movie show as well, called On the Movies. So him and I did I don't know how many episodes of On the Movies him and I did, but I would say at least 65, 70 episodes of that. And we did the Other People's Show as well when we were doing that. Just him in his location, and I was in a it was kind of weird, and I don't want to get back into it with everyone. But I was living in D.C. a lot, driving in to Wise and Norton every single weekend, doing that for about 11 months straight, I would say, about 11 months straight. So leaving D.C., worked in the radio at the radio station up there, got off work at noon, drove down here, was down here about 7 on Friday, and I would leave to drive back up there, about 4 p.m., get back up there and go straight into work. But during that time, during the week, Jake and I did the show. We would do, I think we would do an hour show on Tuesday and then an hour show on Wednesday. And even, we did that, I guess, for about 2 years. And then we kind of, hit a little bit of a hiatus. I was able to bring it back, Real Talk, last January. And we've been doing that ever since. Added the Other People's Show again to live radio on the 1st of May last year. And a few months after that, added the third podcast, The Dark Place, which I think now, since so many things are starting to happen, that The Dark Place is only going to be airing probably one episode, maybe every other week. So maybe 2 episodes a month. That can be heard on Spotify and also the WAXM website on their on-demand section. But I did get a couple of notices today of some good movies that are coming out. You've got the Ghostbusters movie coming out. Thomas had messaged me earlier and had said Imaginary was pretty good. This new Michael Keaton movie out, Knox Goes Away, looks pretty good. So a couple choices coming out. I think Dune 2, a lot of people are enjoying that. I don't know about any new music that's coming out that I'm looking forward to. I've been looking to try to go to some kind of a concert or show this summer. And, I do have a couple of comedy shows. I think Saturday, going to Knoxville for the Pete Davidson show. And then on April 20th, going to Lexington for the Tom Green show. And then June 1st, checking out David Spade. So a couple of comedy shows coming up, but no real concerts coming up. Now we did see. I actually didn't get to see Season of the Witch week before last, but I heard they did a great show, and I'm going to try to check them out. A couple local bands, but yeah, it's going to be a great summer for the show. Going to get, like I said, a couple shows back, going to get some rotating guests in here because I know there's a lot of people that have a lot of cool things to say, and they don't really have a place to really express. The hardest thing, though, is sometimes really getting people in here to talk, because it's when you don't think about how many thousands of people you're speaking to at this moment. Because in all honesty, it just kind of feels like right now that it's just me inside the studio. Now, if you're in your car driving or listening online, whatever the case may be, and you're not watching, you'll see that I am sitting, well, I'll paint a visual picture. And the visual picture being that I'm in a dark room. I'm in a dark studio. I've got an orange puffy vest on, a hat, and dark rimmed glasses. There's a ring light probably 3 feet in front of me with a camera recording and a nice banner with WLSD over top of the banner. I'm not thinking about the thousands of people out there criticizing, ridiculing, and judging my every verbal slip up. You know why? Because everyone does it. Everyone has a verbal slip up. Everyone has some kind of thing that they're afraid of. So if you want to come onto the show, we can discuss, I think, phobias. I think I'm going to bring back Freaky Phobia. I think that was a segment that everybody really enjoyed. Maybe bring back Bog's advice. When I start getting some semi co-hosts coming in here. We'll do a little bit longer shows. Going to have some. I thought about really wanting to bring in a radio magician, but I don't know how that would work, because you don't know that the trick is real, because you can't see it. Only the people watching can see it. And I might bring in a friend. He filled in on the show a couple years back with Jake. He had a few episodes. Actually, he only had 2 episodes of a show called Pippin. He's a little British guy. So yeah, he might come into the studio. So anyway, thank you all for checking out the show. Just to pop in tonight. Just wanted to bring the rest of the night home for you all. And please like and subscribe all the social media pages. Please check out all the great programming on WLSD and WAXM. And I hope you all have a good night. I'm Adam, and we are the Other People Show. Have a good night, everyone.